All right, so I did a little bit of a questionnaire today. Did a little bit of a poll. Honestly, it should still be live now. I was like, are you guys really doing your cardio on a consistent basis? Be honest. Ooh, first 20 minutes, the results are not looking very good. 70% of you not doing your cardio. Really could not fucking explain why, in all honesty. There are a couple I do see a lot of comments that are like, why would you even do cardio on a bulk? And I feel like I say this a fucking billion times. It's good for you in a bulking context, or a dieting context, or a maintaining context. It's just fucking good all around, right? For one, just, you know, across the board, it's gonna raise your metabolism, right? Because your body will literally have to burn through more energy in the day, because you're fucking sweating, pedaling for. Well, I guess you're not guaranteed to be pedaling, but that's my preferred method of cardio, right? And if you've got a faster metabolism in the dieting context, you'll be able to eat a little bit extra food and still be in a calorie deficit. So, I'm not sure. When I do cardio, it's the machine says I burn 300 calories, right? I'm not completely sure that's accurate. And then, even when you wear a fucking like an Apple Watch or some shit, I'll see people post a picture of, after a 1 hour workout, and it says they burn 2,000 calories. So I think the Apple Watch is bullshit too, right? But whatever that. If you're trying to lose weight, I'll get into that later. It's kind of a touch and go, feely process. But whatever. 30 minutes of cardio every day. Ideally first thing in the morning. I kind of waited a little while. It's closer to noon now, but this is still a lot of. It's probably like 6 hours before my actual lift. So I had I blended together like breakfast today was four. No, what am I saying? It was fucking how graham crackers come in those little, like if you get a box, there's like three individual packets of sheets, like sheets of the graham crackers. I blended up two of those full packs with like, I don't know how many cups of milk. 1,200. Five? Yeah, 5 cups of milk. So I had that maybe like an hour ago or something. In terms of doing fed cardio or fasted cardio, it's really not going to change, because at the end of the day, you still ate, or let's say, let's just do a side by side comparison. If two guys eat the exact same amount of food in one day, right, and they each do 300 calories worth of cardio, right, then when you add that shit up, it's gonna result in the same amount of net calories burned versus taken in per day, right? It doesn't matter if one guy didn't eat food before the cardio or if the other guy did, right? That's a little bit of a, yeah, okay, thought I was making the wrong turn. It's a little bit of a, what is this guy doing? Kind of a debated topic, fasted versus fed cardio. The logic being that if you do your cardio fasted, then the fact that you don't have a lot of blood sugar running around in your fucking body is going to mean that your body will be more prone to burn fat, right, as an energy source. That's the idea, which sounds right, right? It makes sense if you hear it explained like that, but it's not that fucking crazy. The only way that you're really going to be burning fat in any significant amount is by eating in a calorie deficit. And that means you got to track your calories with the stupid simple macro tracker like I recommend. You see, there it is right there. And let's say you're a 200-pound dude, maybe, I don't know, 15, 20% body fat. You got a little bit of something you can grab onto in your stomach. I would, just by guessing, I'd say about maybe 2,000-ish calories, 1,800 calories. That should start to make you lose weight, but that's just a guess. If you really want kind of an accurate-ish estimation of how much food you can eat to lose weight, then you got to go online and look up maintenance calorie calculator, right? And what you're going to do is you plug in your height, your weight, your age, your activity level, um, and it's going to ask you like, oh, how often do you work out? Do you have a manual labor job? Well, just use your best judgment and pick whatever, little option makes sense for you the most. And it's going to spit out some numbers. It'll probably say, your maintenance calories is 2,700, right? 2,700 calories. That means if you eat 2,700 calories every day for, let's say a month, and you do your normal workout routine, or, you do whatever amount of energy expenditure that you wrote in the app or on the website, then you're not going to gain weight and you're not going to lose weight. You'll just stay the same. So by that logic, if you eat more than that over that month and you get on the scale every day, you should see an upward trend. And if you eat less than that, you should see a downward trend. You know what I'm saying? But those websites aren't, completely accurate. Everybody's got different levels of, all sorts of shit going on. Right? Just by plugging in your height and your weight, it doesn't know everything about you. So, like I was saying about how you gotta sort of go by feel with this shit, is by tracking your weight, every day, you'll actually be able to notice if you're in a deficit or not, right? Let's say you've been eating whatever the fuck you want for a while and you want to start trying to lose weight, right? Maybe just set your daily calorie limit at, let's say 2250, right? And then hop on the scale every day. If over like 2 weeks you don't see a downward trend, right, you just stayed the same weight, that means that you need to eat a little bit less food, right? And then if you start to see the weight go down or the scale change, then you're probably good, right? And if you sort of hit a plateau where your weight has been decreasing for maybe a month or so, but then it suddenly flattens out, you're not losing weight anymore, then you're gonna have to drop the calories a little bit more, right? It's not insane. It's not insanely complicated thinking about it like that, right? But it's definitely easier said than done. Because if you're not the type of person to count your calories or, be used to, dieting and kind of being hungry sometimes, then it can definitely be pretty tricky. Why do you think fucking diet books and, what are all those? I'm trying to think of the classic, like, mom diets that people do. Atkins, that shit. Why do you think all those fucking businesses are huge, right? It's because nobody really, none of the general public really get it. That's why they have to, read these books to explain it to them. Or not even explain it, just sort of eat specific foods that they show you. Whatever. But if you can understand that your body's just an engine, right? And if you give it extra fuel, it's going to gain weight. And if you, have yourself a solid cutoff limit and you actually stay consistent with it, then you're going to lose weight, right? That's the most basic shit that you have to be able to understand in terms of diet. Now, there's a lot more to it than that, but this isn't a dieting video. This is a fucking cardio video. So, I just went on a crazy tangent. So, so cardio, let's get back on track. In a dieting context, you'll be able to eat some more food. It'll be easier for you to get leaner. And in a bulking context, you're going to have a better metabolism. You'll burn more energy throughout the day. So I get the logic is like, oh, but if I burn 300 calories from doing cardio, then I'm going to have to eat an extra 300 calories to make up for it. I mean, I guess you're right, but whatever. That's not that insane. 300 calories, that's just like a fucking soda, And doing your cardio during a bulk is going to let you stay a lot more, or it's going to let you improve or at least maintain your endurance, right? The last thing you want to do is go into your workout, do 3 heavy working sets, and then have to fucking, sit down for 20 minutes because you're so out of fucking breath. You guys probably aren't that level. That sounds more like a fucking massive ass power lifter type situation. But you get what I'm saying, right? Obviously, when you're working out, when you're lifting weights, you're not trying to do, aerobic training. Now I really sound like Mike Menser, right? Lifting weights should purely be taxing, your musculature, not your fucking lungs and your heart. So if you have to end a set just because you're out of breath, then you just fucked yourself, right? So, fuck, I talked the whole way to the gym. Let's go in there and sit down on the seated bike for 30 minutes. There we go. That look about right? Yeah, perfect. So, 30 minutes, seated bike. I think it was a Life Fitness machine. I feel like they're all the same shit, but pretty much my go-to method in terms of like what difficulty to set it to, and like your RPM, whatever. I'll make it so I put it at like difficulty level 9 or 10-ish. That's just what it says on the quick start method, right? Personally, I think it doesn't appeal to me to like do like interval training where it'll be programmed to give you like 45 seconds of like steady pace and then 15 seconds of like a sprint. I don't know. I just don't like it, right? I just want a simple, steady pedal for the 30 minutes and that's the end of it, right? So to get 300 calories in 30 minutes, how many calories should the machine say you burn per minute, right? Fucking 10. So that's just sort of what I've been doing for a while. I mean, if you haven't done any cardio for a long time, that might fucking totally gas you, right? So maybe dial down the difficulty, push yourself a bit. But I mean, when I was doing the cardio, I wasn't dying. Like clearly I'm not really drenched here, just a little sweaty. But let's just check out an unpumped torso. Let's see what we're working with so far. Whew. All right, we got a little something going on. Oh, that's pretty fucking freaky. So, before you do like I guess primarily a lat spread, even, front double bicep too, right? You always see people like suck their gut in, right? They do some shit like that, right? They do a vacuum, right? You can't just do that out of nowhere, right? That's why before I, hit those, I always sit here for a second. I go, try to blow out as much air as possible so that when I try to suck my stomach in, right, my fucking lungs aren't totally full, taking up space in my whole, chest and stomach cavity, right? So vacuuming, I guess let's just sort of do a little bit of a topic change. It's really just a practice thing, but it's honestly not insanely tricky, right? Like just fucking sit here and you go, like that's it. That's all I can really tell you. You'll get better at it as you do it, right? So maybe, I think we all know a bodybuilder who we lost too soon who's advocating for vacuums. I think there's some legitimacy to doing them every so often. I don't do them every day, but whatever. Let's move on. Let's just go through some mandatories here. Yeesh. I mean, that's pretty much it, honestly. Side chest, lat spread, double bi. Those are the big ones. So, let's, yeah, I mean, I can't really think of anything else. On the topic of abs, I never talk about it. And I mean, you never see me training them. But pretty much once you've built them, right? Once you've actually developed them to a point where you can see them even through like a little bit of smush. Obviously, I'm not like fucking 20% body fat here, but there's a little bit of something going on, right? But once you have them like developed enough, which I definitely think you need to develop them, right? When people talk about how, I'm sure you've heard the phrase abs are made in the kitchen, there's legitimacy to that in the sense that obviously if you're 20% and you've got a real fucking noticeable layer of fat on your stomach, you're not going to see your abs no matter how good they are. But if you take, just a normal Joe with zero ab development, his whole stomach is just going to look flat no matter how lean he is. Like there's not going to be any of this fancy like separation in the middle or these funky little what's the word, serratus or obliques, right? None of that's going to be there. So I used to train abs, I don't know, every couple of days, honestly. Go-to movement is going to be just a kneeling cable crunch. If you go back a few videos, there should, I do one set of them, right? And I load up a lot of weight. Your abs are fucking muscle, right? If I want to build a big chest, I'm not going to sit here and just bench 135 really slow. I'm going to fucking try to load up a lot of weight, right? Same with any muscle. So why would your abs be any different, right? But what separates them from, everything else, because, my chest is, so big, I still train it though, right? Once your abs are developed, they're not going to go away, right? Because they're just getting used all the time when you're doing shit, right? When you're doing a tricep push down and you're pushing weight down in front of your torso, right? You're using your abs to sort of counteract that force. Get it? Or when you're squatting, every time you brace, not to mention fucking every time you flex in the mirror, of course you're going to flex your abs, right? Once you got them, they're not going anywhere. So let me think, is something else to freaking say. Oh yeah, I guess we can do a vacuum. I haven't eaten that much food yet today. Just the big ass shake that was like 1,500 calories. So my stomach's reasonably empty. So obviously if it's the end of the day and you finish eating a lot of food and you're fucking like, you got your stomach distended because of all the shit that's in there, you're not gonna be able to hit a good fucking vacuum. So that's one reason why I used to do, or when I'm dieting, typically I'll do my cardio fasted. And that's pretty much for two reasons. So one, after I'm done with cardio, I want to pose down, see how I look, right? I'm trying to diet. I want to start seeing cuts and whatever. Plus, if there's no food in my stomach yet, then I can hit a fucking crazy vacuum. And then the other reason is when you're dieting, you don't want to eat all your food right in the fucking morning. I'm not a huge advocate of fasting per se, but I'll wait till like 11 or 10 to eat my first meal, just so that when I'm eating, I can eat more at once, right? It's not too hard for me to go from 7 o'clock to 11 with no food, right? But if I eat all my food and then I'm done eating at 6 o'clock, right? I might get fucking hungry before I go to bed. And you're just setting yourself up for failure, to cheat on your diet if you do that. So let's hit a little bit of a vacuum and then we can get the fuck out of here. Oh my gosh. So once I actually start cutting down, that'll be in, I don't know how many, honestly, probably still weeks, considering I'm not really too flubbery. I need to get fucking fatter. That's my goal. In the next 3 weeks, I need to put on some more body fat, purely to represent the fact that I will have eaten enough food. But the bulk's still going to go on. In all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Spring Bulk Day 200. And in the topic of the fucking title, I'm locked in. All right. I'm locked in with calling it the Spring Bulk. I know it's summer. I see the comments. But I can't change it now. Come on, that'd be crazy. So it's going to be Spring Bulk until it turns into some kind of dieting series, whatever I decide to call it. So let's get in the car. Yeah, dang it. I'm not mad. I'm a little disappointed. 70% of you, really, not doing your cardio? Now, I mean, there's only I just checked it again. There's only like 13,000 votes, but still, that's a pretty solid chunk. 70%, no cardio. Oh, just leaving gains on the table, man. Gains on the freaking table. Oh, you can lead a horse to water. Oh, but I guess you can't make it drink. So, I've done all I can. Oh, what the fuck? I didn't even feel it move. Weird. So, before I do cardio, I'm not going to take a fucking scoop of pre-workout. You know, I'm not trying to get a pump. I don't need fucking all that citrulline and whatever else floating around my system. But I definitely want a little bit of caffeine, right? Today's a little bit of an outlier style day, but typically the first thing I do when I get up after I, get dressed and shit is, take some caffeine and then go do cardio, right? Just kind of a morning ritual style. Get woken up. But, I always kind of hate on people that are drinking like Reigns and shit, or, paying $2 for a Celsius every fucking day, when the only ingredient that they want in the fucking product is the caffeine. You get what I'm saying? Like, it seems foolish to spend like $3 for a Reign or something, or a Monster every fucking day for your lifts, or let's say for your cardio. Actually, I guess you guys don't do cardio, but whatever. It's just definitely not a fucking what's the word? Shoot. It's not a cost-effective method, right? Now, I'm not going to dog on you if you've got a whole morning routine of making some fancy pants espresso with the fancy little grinder or whatever. That's your shit. I'm not telling you to stop doing your morning coffee if it's part of your routine. But if you're just slamming the fucking Monster right in the morning, just buy caffeine capsules on their own, right? Then you're going from fucking $3 a day, or like, $2, $3 a day minimum, to I forget the math, but another little bit of product placement. Fucking, the Hosstile supplements, they got fucking caffeine capsules, 200 milligrams. I forget how many they have in each bottle. I might have to check that out. I'll add a little thing at the bottom. The price per 200 milligrams of caffeine versus like a Monster, right? And it's gonna be fucking cents on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? So let's add up. Let's say you do a fucking Monster per year, or one Monster per year. Let's say you drink a fucking Monster per day per year, and that's your source of caffeine, like in the morning or some shit. And I mean, that's not even getting into the people who drink like 2 or 3. But that's a different matter altogether, right? You're probably paying a fucking $1,000. Maybe less. I don't know. I guess the Monsters are more like $2. But yeah, you're paying like $700,000 per year on energy drinks alone, assuming you only do one per day. Whereas if you're just doing the caffeine capsules, that would add up to, fuck, I forget the amount that's in those. I'll add it up. I'll do the math right here. This is how much it would cost doing the caffeine capsules for your morning cardio, which I guess you don't freaking do. But I mean, that's honestly something I've kind of had a gripe with people for a long time. Like, it just doesn't make sense. If you can just get the fucking main ingredient that you want for, dirt cheap, why are you wasting so much money? I'm not like giving advice out here like Gary V, but it just makes sense to me. Save your teeth a little bit too from all the freaking acidity and the carbonation. But that's my 2 cents on the matter. So let me think of something else. What else is going on? Nothing. Freaking nothing, same shit, different day. So I'm gonna go home, eat some kind of meal. I'm not sure what, but I know I have like 1 pack of beef ramen left that I like to eat. Good source of electrolytes, a lot of fucking salt and sodium in there. Yeah, that's a good topic. So in terms of, yeah, perfect topic. If you're kind of feeling like shit when you lift, or if you get exertion headaches, this is one thing that's I get a couple comments about. What do you think you should do to fix that? Or let's just say your stomach feels kind of weird. You just kind of feel like shit in general, right? Let me guess. For one thing, you're definitely not carrying around your fucking jug of water all day. So you're definitely missing out on your fucking fluids. And then, well, I guess sort of, what's the word? Fuck. Whatever. So if you're definitely not drinking enough water, then you're guaranteed not getting enough fucking electrolytes, right? So every time I make a jug, I've got the fucking big ass Hosstile jug now. Every time I mix that shit up with like the mixed berry cluster Dextrin, I don't just drink that when I'm lifting. I'll just sort of drink that throughout the day. But I always add a scoop of the fucking the Silo 9. It's like a hydration mix. It's got amino acids in there as well, but the part that really gets it for me is the fact that it's got electrolytes. Because you can drink all the fucking water you want, but you're not going to be like fully hydrated unless you've got your fucking electrolytes. You get what I'm saying? Why do you think Gatorade is so popular as like a sports drink? Now, I mean, it's not like the most effective fucking well-dosed athletic supplement in the world, because people are just fucking hanging out at home drinking Gatorade, right? But the basic idea is there. If you're getting headaches squatting, I've had this before. If I didn't drink enough water, or if I didn't have any kind of electrolytes or whatever, low salt, I've gone into squat before, and every fucking rep felt like my head was gonna fucking explode. It's terrible. If you feel like that all the time, there's no fucking chance you're gonna get good workouts, right? And luckily, the solution is just drink a fuck ton of water and electrolytes. So, if that's you, if you're the guy who fucking has to take an Advil for his headaches all the time, maybe just try drinking some water. Maybe try drinking some water, man. And even better, throw a little bit of Silo 9 hydration in there, right? Or even, I've done this before, throwing like a teaspoon of salt. Maybe, no, okay, not a teaspoon, that's a fuck ton. Just like kind of a pinch of salt into your pre. It does a little something, it's some salt. But whatever. You'll definitely get a better pump when you're fully hydrated. That's for certain. That is for flippin' certain. So, that pretty much covers all the ideas that are popping into my head right now. So like I was saying, I'm gonna go home. I might, honestly, I think I'm gonna lay in the sun for a little while. Get a little bit tanner. I'm reasonably pale at the moment. I don't really love the idea of tanning beds. I kind of feel like I'm just getting microwaves, right? How about, leave in the comments below, what are your thoughts on tanning beds? I think I know the general consensus, but I'm just kind of curious. So, all right, no more rambling. Home, sun exposure, food, probably a nap, and then arms tonight. So the arm video I'll post tomorrow, and this cardio video was filmed today. All right, I'm gonna go home, clip. Honestly, this is a pretty simple one to clip together. It's just 3 fucking videos I need to splice. And I'm sure I'll have a freaking crazy arm pump for you to see tomorrow. So I will see you then. God damn it.